and welcome to the Whoniverse and to a brand new video. Now, when Jodie Whittaker's Doctor burst onto our screens for her first full series of Doctor Who back in 2018, she came face to toothy face with Tzim Sha.
Tzim Sha?
Tzim Sha.
Tzim Sha?
Tzim Sha.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway, throughout the series, the warrior armed to the teeth had quite an impact on those who came close to the Doctor and, a few planets. So I thought now was a good time as any to take a look at the history of Tzim Sha and the Stenza. So, the Stenza are a warrior race that comes from 5,000 galaxies away from Earth and the Milky Way. They have incredibly cold skin and could kill humans by placing their hands to the face and freezing them to death. Because of the extremely cold temperatures, when the Stenza travelled to other worlds, they always wore armoured suits and masks for protection and to maintain their body temperatures. Also, any member of the Stenza can access a hive mind like the Dalek's Pathweb or the Cyberium. This is a hive mind contains all their collective knowledge, which could even be accessed by any Stenza who has been separated from the rest of their kind. Their species was one of great ritual, with their civilization built on hunts and ceremony. For example, in order to decide who would be the next leader of the Stenza, an individual would be given a randomly selected trophy to hunt and capture without the use of weapons or assistance. These trophies were kept in stasis in trophy chambers on the cusp between life and death. Before a hunt could begin, a contract of consent would be sent to the planet in question. However, for they never appeared in the language of the species they were hunting. For this reason, Ryan Sinclair accidentally gave Tzim Sha permission to hunt on Earth, although once the truth was revealed, he verbally revoked permission due to it being a misunderstanding. Tzim Sha did not honour this in any way. After killing any victim, the Stenza would then take a piece of their victim's anatomy, usually a tooth, and graft it onto their faces. This process was known as the ritual of the Stenza, and makes me look at dentists in a whole new way. The Stenza conquered and terrorised several planets in the 12 galaxies, including Albar and Desolation, forcing the residents to create weapons for them to use. These included bioengineered species such as the sentient Murdius remnants, sniper bots, and flesh-eating microbes in the water. These weapons, living and otherwise, eventually destroyed all life on Desolation, save for the remnants, sniper bots, and microbes themselves. One Stenza called Tzim Sha travelled to Earth to capture his selected trophy Carl Wright, so he could become the leader of the Stenza. But he cheated by using a gathering coil to locate him, something that was half organic and half machine. He came ahead in his pod, waiting inside for the coils to find his target before breaking out and killing Rahul, taking one of his teeth as a prize. He then began searching for the coils in order to learn where and who his target was. While searching for the coils, he encountered Dean, who threw salad at him, mocking his appearance. Annoyed at his actions, Tzim Sha killed him and took off one of his teeth as well. Upon finding the coils, he was confronted by the 13th Doctor along with Ryan, Graham, Grace and Yaz, who ordered him not to hunt on Earth and flee back to his own people. However, Tzim Sha refused, threatening to kill the Doctor if she tried to stop him. He absorbed the data from the coils and then used the short-range teleport to reach his target, Carl Wright, a construction worker at a construction site. There he killed a security guard and proceeded to climb up Carl's crane to reach him. However, the Doctor arrived with assistance and proceeded to convince Carl to leave his crane and climb towards her so that he could jump to safety. However, Tzim Sha caught up to them, grabbing Carl to take him back with him. Not giving in, the Doctor leapt across, stating he couldn't leave as she had stolen the recall device from his pod that would allow him to return home and threatened to destroy it. Calling her bluff, Tzim Sha detonated the DNA bombs his coil implanted in the Doctor and the others. Instead, the detonation affected him, as the Doctor had transferred the bombs into the coil's data, meaning Tzim Sha had downloaded them. With no choice, Tzim Sha let Carl go and took the teleport to flee back to his own planet, but not before Carl kicked him off the railings. However, this victory came at a cost. As Grace tried to stop the gathering coil, she was attacked and fell from the crane, destroying the gathering coil in the process, although this ultimately cost Grace her life, and much heartache for the soon-to-be TARDIS team. As the recall device had been corrupted, the teleport instead banished him halfway across the universe to Ranskor of Kolos. He was unable to leave without dying, but Ux and Dino mistook him for their creator, and thus helped him regain his health and strength. Though he required a life support machine, Tzim Sha was able to use the hive knowledge of the Stenza held within him, combined with the Ux's dimensional engineering capabilities, to build an army of sniper bots and other Stenza technology. Over the centuries in his exiles, Tzim Sha combined all the knowledge of the Stenza with the abilities of the Ux to create a weapon capable of trapping entire planets in stasis. With this weapon, he trapped 5 different planets, committing genocide of all the people on each one. This atrocity caused the Congress of the 9 Planets to send fleets of ships to Ranskor of Kolos to stop him, but they fell to Tzim Sha's forces. Eventually, Paltraki arrived with his crew and managed to steal one of the planets held in stasis, but his crew was captured in the process and made into Stenza trophies, of which Tzim Sha had about 30. 3,407 years after Tzim Sha first became trapped, Team TARDIS picked up 9 distress calls from Ranskor of Kolos and landed on the planet to investigate, meeting Paltraki, whose mind had become muddled by the effects of the planet. Shortly after, the Doctor gave Paltraki a neural balancer to help fix his mind. Tzim Sha contacted Paltraki and demanded the return of the stolen planet, executing one of Paltraki's crew in front of him and threatening to brutally murder the rest if he didn't comply. The Doctor and her companions were left in shock at once again seeing their old enemy, having believed Tzim Sha to have been sent back to his homeworld when they last met. The Doctor, her companions and Paltraki set out to stop Tzim Sha and his plans. The Doctor was brought in front of Tzim Sha by Andino, where Tzim Sha explained what happened since they had last met and his motives. Tzim Sha then had the Ux turn the weapon on Earth, intending to destroy the planet and the human race in retaliation for his previous defeat, ignoring the Doctor's warning that the technology was not stable and using it on another planet could destroy everything. Tzim Sha declared that he would target any planet that ever defied the Stenza and use his weapon on them. And as the Ux used the weapon on Earth, Tzim Sha received a warning that Graham and Ryan were freeing his trophies and went to stop them personally. By the time he arrived, Graham had destroyed his army of sniper bots and the prisoners were free and on their way to Paltraki's ship. Though Graham had sworn to kill Tzim Sha if he ever saw him again, he couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger. After the Doctor was able to return the planets that had been stolen back to their proper places in space and Tzim Sha's plan was thwarted, Graham and Ryan decided that Tzim Sha wasn't worth killing, stating that he instead deserved a taste of his own medicine. Graham and Ryan sentenced him to life imprisonment in a Stenza stasis chamber once used for Tzim Sha's trophies. The two ordered him to keep the name Grace O'Brien in his mind as he contemplated eternity. The Ark subsequently sealed the building so that no one could ever reach Tzim Sha and free him from his eternal prison. So that's one Stenza warrior and potential leader trapped forever and impossible to free. Who knows how many more Stenza there are in the universe and whether they're friendly or not. We only know what we do about the Stenza from what we've seen of Tzim Sha and the exposition we've been given by characters like Paltraki and Angstrom. They are race of warriors that definitely have potential for a return. Imagine a whole army of Tzim Shas. With all that said, that is the history of Tzim Sha and the Stenza. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button and comment below with a character or monster you want me to tell the history of next. And don't forget to subscribe to be the first to see new content when it's live. Thanks again and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.